Okay, guys, so this lesson, I want to introduce first some vocabulary. So what we're working with, you need to be familiar with vocabulary that is associated with these different types of equations. So, right, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so when we see phrases like plus or and or the sum or the word more, we would associate that with addition. So, for example, if I said the sum of 7 and 3, right, you should know that sum means the answer to an addition problem. So, if I said the sum of 7 and 3, I would know that 7 and 3 I would add together, right? So the sum would be 10. Okay, so if we're familiar with this language, we could attach it to this operation. Okay, subtraction, we see phrases like less than or the difference, right? The difference between, or even the word minus. Okay, multiplication. So again, I would write this in your notes when you're doing your problems today. This will help you. This will sort of be your dictionary or your answer key to determine what the appropriate operation is. Okay. All right. So then we have multiplication, right? We see the word times or product. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So if I said 3 times 2, what is the product of 3 times 2? I would know that the product would be 6 or the answer. Okay, and then division. We see phrases like divided by or divided into, quotient, right? Quotient is the answer to a division problem. Or phrases like shared equally. Okay, so these are all these clues when we see phrases. This helps us to determine, right? Am I adding here, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Okay, so vocabulary you need to be familiar with. Numerical expression. So the clue here obviously is numerical. Okay, so it is an expression that is written solely in numbers. So here's an example. 5 less than 20 is not a numerical expression because the word less and the word than, those are not numbers, right? So this is in written form. Okay, now if I were to change this into an expression that is just numbers, 5 less than 20. Well, wait a minute, less. I saw that up here. What if I said 5 less than 20? What am I doing with those two numbers? Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Right? 5 less than. Oh, 5 less than. I'm going to be subtracting these numbers, right? So 5 less than 20. So this would be the numerical expression, right? 5 less than 20. So the 5 you're subtracting from the 20. You wouldn't say 5 minus 20, right? Because then that would be 20 less than 5. So you have to kind of pay attention, right? You don't want to just see these two numbers and put them in that order. That wouldn't be correct. So this is 5 less than 20, right? So that would be 15. Okay, a variable. A variable is a letter or a symbol that represents an unknown amount that can change. And I've talked about this before. So if I were to give you the letter R, that is a variable. It represents an unknown number, but you can figure out what R represents by looking at this simple equation. So R plus 3 equals 7. So you have to ask yourself, what number, when I add 3 to it, would get me to 7, right? So if we know our addition facts, 4 minus 3 is 7. So R equals 4, right? So if I were to replace this letter R with the number 4, that would make this statement true. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so a variable can vary. It can change. Now, if I use the same letter R, but I write a different example, let's see what the R equals. So if I said R minus 2 is 8, what number does R need to be here to make this statement true, right? So if we know our subtraction facts, we know that 10 minus 2 equals 8. So in this instance, this R represents 10, right? 10 minus 2 is 8.